Next, I have Mr. Burke giving his first State of the Union address, I call it.
Great. State of the Union, okay,
State
very
of the
good.
district, okay.
State of the district, all right, very
I
good.
like the
It
union.
better not be 4 hours.
No, I can assure you it won't be 4 hours. It may feel like it as I go through here, but a lot of things to report, a lot of activities going on over the last month. And as we started this meeting with a safety briefing, I thought it's also good to start, talk a little bit about safety, and then some of my comments as we talk about different parts of the organization, we'll also focus around safety as well. We did have one DART case. DART case at OPPD is an injury that occurs that requires days away, restricted, or transferred. An employee transferred to a different location because of that injury. So we had one DART case and one SIF. Year to date, we have 4 DARTs and 4 SIFs. A SIF is a injury or a potential injury that could be a serious injury or a potential fatality. And so we are really focused on those really as learning opportunities and learning lessons, but we have had 4 to date, and I'll talk a little bit about those as we move forward. Nebraska City 1 on May 11th shut down because of a boiler tube leak, but I think what's really important about that is that it also completed a record for continuous operation for this unit of over 287 consecutive days. So it's a significant accomplishment. And so thanks to John and his team and the members of Nebraska City for keeping that plant up and operating on those consecutive days. Those are hot days, cold days, and so just a great job. It was a long run. That staff at Nebraska City also performed activities for 352 days without a DART or without an injury, and so that's pretty significant. Actually, 349 days since their last recordable injury. Recordable injury is an injury that would require some medical attention, whether it's a bandage or just medical attention of some sort, but not necessarily restricted or days away from the work environment. So pretty significant safety commitment, and we're seeing that focus on our other generating facilities too. So John and his team are driving and improve safety performance in those areas, and I'm pleased to see that, and I certainly know the staff is as well. North Omaha had one accident this past month. It was a DART case. It was an operator that sustained an injury to his right thigh when a house ventilation fan door closed on him while passing through the door. This is a door that has differential pressure across the doors, and so what happens is it opened and then closed very quickly because of the differential pressure. What I think is important to that is we're really looking at this across the district to making sure that we take care of these kinds of differential pressure doors throughout the organization at Nebraska City, at Fort Calhoun, which we've done, but also making sure that we don't repeat this injury. And so the team is committed to make sure that we do that in an appropriate fashion. Our central maintenance steam fitter mechanics group surpassed 5 years without a lost time injury on April 29th. Again, a great commitment to safety and to safe work environment. On our energy side, renewable energy contributed to 21% of OPPD's retail energy sales. The capacity factor for our renewables was 51% in the month of April. Year to date, renewable energy contributed to 19.6% of our retail energy sales. Capacity factor for renewables is 52.5%. Actually, we saw the chart today. It's a little less than that, I think, today, or at least this morning. But obviously, that does fluctuate. As we talked about at our Nuclear Oversight Committee meeting on Tuesday, Fort Calhoun shut down on April 11th for its 27th refueling outage. We are currently several days, about 91 hours behind schedule. Lou has some plans to make up some of that as we move forward. We are working on several issues with the NRC, and obviously hopefully we'll resolve those yet this week. We've had one industrial safety incident that has occurred to a contractor. It was not a lost time injury, and we've had 0 human performance events during the outage, which is very, very important. And our hope and our plan is still to bring the unit back on, breakers closed on May 22nd. And we'll keep the board updated on that progress as we near that point in the month of May. We had 5 evaluators from INPO on site the week of April 20th, performing outage observations in the areas of maintenance, work management, radiation protection, and engineering. And again, it's about our industry kind of commitment to safe operation and increased performance. And INPO is made up of the organizations or member organizations that help support operations at nuclear plants throughout the United States. On the T&D side, many of you have seen the media story that we did on our downtown distribution networks and some of the inspections that are going on there. That continues. We're well over 50% completed, and it's a great opportunity for us to use technology to inspect these downtown distribution networks, and we're well over 50% completed. We may even be done or close to being done. So I think that's really good and a great contribution to our corporate communications staff for a great job of including the media in some of the things that we're doing to maintain reliability and to make sure we identify issues before they occur. We've also done aerial inspections on our transmission lines, the lines that Mo just talked about and Director Barrett presented as a board item today. We inspect those via a helicopter, and so we have somebody with that individual in the helicopter that actually inspects those transmission lines, and that's an opportunity for us to identify voltage clearing issues as well as mechanical or electrical issues that may be occurring on those transmission structures. So we are preparing for the summer load in that regard. We also completed a pandemic drill, and it's part of our ongoing commitment to be prepared. So we do storm drills during the fall and also during the spring before the storm season. But this is a pandemic drill really across the organization. If you've heard some of the issues that have gone on around birds flu and a number of other different things, it's a great opportunity to remind our organization about how we need to be prepared and how we would staff and organize around a pandemic situation. So it's our ongoing commitment for preparation, and the team did a great job. We always find learning opportunities in those kinds of drills. And so then we incorporate them into our action planning. The Nebraska legislature gave final approval for amendments to the existing legislation allowing mandated project bonds to be issued in response to regulations requiring electric generation, transmission, and distribution capital improvements. We actually got notice yesterday that the governor signed that bill, and the legislature approved that 49-0. What's important around that is there was a lot of people with their phones taking pictures because you may have 0 against votes, but very rarely is it 49-0. And so Tom Richards, who's been doing this for 20-some years, said it was the first time he saw a 49-0 vote. And I think that goes to the commitment that Edward and John Thurber and his team made in the education and the orientation of the importance of that project and the need for utilities to have that opportunity. And it's really an opportunity for us to, in the event we have to make those capital investments, to keep that capital cost and recovery of those costs as low as we can relative to rates. So congratulations to Tom Richards and the finance group for assisting in that. And we essentially led that for the industry, by the way. From a customer side, OPPD participated in the Arbor Day Foundation. This is our 3rd annual Energy Saving Tree Program year that we participated in. We gave out over 2,000 trees in a relatively short period of time, within a week period of time. So it's just, we did a email blast to a variety of our partners and customers to promote the program, and obviously it worked out really well. We also participated in both booth and the distribution of additional 250 trees at the annual Earth Day event, and that was April 18th at Elmwood Park, and it's about our ongoing commitment about environment and natural resources. And we continue to work with customers on a variety of education on tree planting, energy savings programs, a lot with safety in mind, but also energy consciousness in mind as well. Chairperson McGuire and I, Gary Gates and Lou Cortopassi, did kind of a whirlwind tour a week or so ago relative to, we went and met all day at Exelon, really to understand that Exelon process, part of my transition plan initiative to meet with the Exelon executive group, as well as to go over their process and how Fort Calhoun is really induced into the fleet and the fleet awareness at Exelon. It was a great opportunity for us to have those conversations and to really understand the value of our partnership with Exelon in that regard. We also met with NRC commissioners, 2 commissioners there and a variety of different critical staff to talk about and update them on not only the Fort Calhoun outage and its progress, but also about our ongoing improvement plan in place. And so it was a great opportunity for us to have those discussions and dialogues and introductions. I stayed on for the next day with our new manager of federal affairs, Seth Voiles, where we met with the Nebraska delegation and many of their staff members, as well as critical staffs on some of the critical committees that we deal with through the utility side of the business. So overall, I thought the trip was very successful, and we'll continue that outreach both to the NRC as well as to our delegation and critical committee staff folks. We have a couple people in the room that were recognized internationally, by the way. Jody Baker and Andrew Rogers were internationally recognized. Actually, they received the top award for the video that they put together called The New Era of Wind Energy that Jody shot at the Prairie Breeze Wind Farm, dedicated last summer. It was named co-winner for the Best News Story Video by Reagan Communications, which they do international communications. And so it was a great opportunity for them, and obviously Andrew assisted in that as well. OPP shared the top honor with AT&T. So that kind of gives you, we're kind of leading the way and doing a great job. Yeah. We also received an honorable mention in the same category, by the way, and it was a story called Going Batty for the Transmission Project, and it was another Jody Baker creation along with Andrew, but also included Patrick Finnegan from our environmental group as well, and essentially what we talked about is the line route that Mo just talked about on MTP. Was really around a unique bat species that is going to be on the endangered species list to make sure that we were not negatively impacting that. So it was a great opportunity to talk about the extent that we go to protect the natural environment and the work that we do. So Jody and Andrew, and I know Russ is here, but Patrick Finnegan and the team, thanks a lot for participating in those and for your honorable mention as well. We do a number of different things that we recognize employees on. April 13th, it was National Lineman Appreciation Day. Obviously, we have 136 line technicians, 21 troubleshooters on staff, and obviously those are the folks that are out in the bad weather when we're all kind of sheltered in, and they do great work of serving our customer owners, and it was a great way for us to appreciate the great work that they do in each of our centers. So we want to appreciate them, and we did that on April 13th. As well. We do a number of different things where our employees are out in the community, and I'd like to highlight a couple of those. Our OPPD Energizers group, it's a group of employees that last fall was asked to essentially make blankets for at Children's Hospital, and they do a great job with that. They were actually then asked to make dolls so that we could give those dolls to children. And it could be a number of different things. It would, for a child that has diabetes, it would show that child where the shots would be taking on that doll. For a child that was in a cast, we would actually cast the arm of that doll. And it's just an opportunity and a great outreach of our employees to participate in the community. And they do a great job with that. The other item that we did, a customer of ours, Cha-Cha Longoria, along with Rebuilding Together Omaha, it's a 112-year-old home. It was an opportunity for Rebuilding Together Omaha to update that home. We had a couple employees that were intricately involved in that, not just that home, but other homes. Ray Herrick and Gary Rulofson that helped seal and insulate the rim joists in the basement of these two homes, and also supported the Rebuilding Together Omaha group. Just an example of some of the great outreach that we do. And probably the most memorable thing, it happened in May. May, but there's a lot of work that leads up to that. And Jeff Hansen and our organization has been deeply involved with a variety of volunteers throughout the organization as our power drive. And so we had 20 high schools participate in the state finals. It's co-sponsored by OPPD and NPPD. We have a variety of different champions, a variety of different scholarship winners because of that. We are going to take a hiatus for 1 year, and we've worked with NPPD on this. Actually, we are going to go back out to the schools and talk to them about, are there changes that need to be made? Is Power Drive the right thing, or is there greater technology opportunities for us to partner with these schools in our service territories? And so we're each going to do that independently and come back and see if there's an opportunity. You know, one of the things the kids talked about is, as we were meeting with them, were maybe we begin to think about how we implement drone kind of technology in our normal day business. Obviously, that's sexy for some of the high school kids, which they probably have drones, would be my guess. But anyway, that's an example. We'll take a year off of the Power Drive program and then begin to come back and share with the board some of the feedback that we get through that stakeholder process. And then we have been fully committed to our workforce development strategies. One, getting schools and young men and women, boys and girls involved in our tech savvy related jobs at OPPD. And so we've done a number of different things at Ralston High School, Beveridge Middle School, West Dodge Station and Westridge Elementary School, Westside High School, really to begin to talk about our careers, our opportunities, our training, the jobs and the work that our men and women do at OPPD. We also participated in the Urban League of Nebraska's Career Boot Camp. We were one of 18 companies that essentially works with the Urban League recruits and displaced workers through a 3-week career readiness boot camp. And our team participated in that, primarily in our call center folks. I think did a lot of work, as well as our diversity and HR group. So hats off to many of our men and women that are doing those great kind of community activities. So with that, that concludes my State of the Utility report.
Thank you.